In this new audiovisual resource, and as a continuation of the previous video, we will use the same machines and installation facility structure to create three interface examples with typical common errors that occur when manipulating Excel interface. Let's say the same in Facility Manager program or equipment master. Let's see. Here it is. The same installation areas, sub areas, equipments, and sub equipments. So let's begin with the examples of the Excel interfaces. Open Excel. Let's go with the first example with errors. This is the file we are opening, and let's see the errors. Watch this. This column contains the result of the validation of the each row for the Excel interface. So this sheet, tareas sheet in the Excel interface seems to be all okay. The tasks and procedures will be okay, and in this case all be okay. But in the plain sheet all is wrong. Then let's see the errors that follows. Let's see log errors. Select the row and watch carefully this button to see the errors. The error seems to be in the MP code column and says the maintenance plan with this code will not import because the plan itself has an error in the row number 11. Let's see the row number 11. Close here. Row number 11. Click this button, and the problem, it seems to be in the TSK code. The task with this code not exist in the sheet tareas of Excel. Let's see the interface in Excel. Let's open. This is the file. So watch this. The plain sheet shows this information. So the borders, colors that you will see in this example and the following ones are solely for better comprehension and the understanding of how the interface was built to see the errors that were generated. So the interface arise this error. The task with this code not exist in this sheet. So in this sheet, plain sheet, these errors are in this part. So the task Chrome rows have this code, but for typing mistakes or others, this task has the same code that this task, and these tasks are the same, but the program understands that this task not is in this sheet. For that reason, the interface will be arise this error. All of this for mistakes, typical mistakes when you manipulate in Excel. Now, watch this. In the last row, this row contains information but not contains information in other columns. Let's see the error arise in the interface in the program. This is the last row, 26. Let's click and watch the following. Is all columns is required. E- Equipment code, equipment name, maintenance plan codes, and others. Therefore, it is recommended to correct the Excel file first instead of proceeding to load the information as is. If the information is loaded as is with errors, as can be seen in this case, what will happen is that the program will load the task into the task master. Here are the tasks. The procedures in the procedures masters. Here are the procedures. But it will not create the maintenance plan, nor will it assign them to any equipment. Now let's look at a slightly more complex example below. Let's exit and let's go to import the next file with other errors. This is the file, the second example. Open it and let's see the errors. Look at more errors, but in this part are other errors. However, if you look or you watch carefully, you take in account that these rows has an errors. Let's see the information here up. Let's see this bottom. The maintenance plan with this code will not import because the plan itself has an error in the rows number 12, 13, 14, and so on. Let's see since row number 12, 13, 14. Here is the row 12 and the error must be in this task code. The task with this code not passed in the sheet areas of Excel, and the error clearly is here. With this code will not pass in the sheet areas of Excel. Look this, and the same task has different task code. Let's see the file. Let's close this one and open the next file here to see with major clarity. In this case, as you can see, the errors are being clearly highlighted. Noted that this task code has difference precisely because of the manipulation Excel, possibly a dragging of the fields between each other. On the other hand, I take this opportunity, since I am here on this sheet, to indicate that it's not recommended to leave these spaces Hmm? Blank because the interface could have problems or lack of track in the looking for errors given. Let me explain better. Please try to avoid these empty records. Hmm? Because for traceability purpose to find errors that the interface returns versus what is found here to correct errors. It will be more complicated. As you can see, here I have filled 16 records, but I have 19 records with information, but 3 of them are empty. Look at the difference. 16 rows filled, but 3 with blank, and here are only 16. Let's see more errors now. Now, in the other sheet, the plain sheet, all registers, all rows seems to be okay. But please try to avoid these blank spaces. The program will ignore it, but for your traceability will be a problem if you let these blank spaces in your interface Excel. Next example. Let's exit. Let's close here. And the last example. Open Excel. And here is this file. And here it is. An important recommendation, especially given the potential complexity of this interface, is that initially it's beneficial to build a small maintenance plan interface. This allows you to easily correct errors with a limited interface. Once you begin to understand the typical errors made by users and those in charge, you can gradually increase the scope of your work plans. All this because the plans are going to become increasingly complex, and if they are more complex, it will be harder to find errors. Like this example. Let's see the errors. Here in this sheet, there are 2 errors. Let's see, first, column name errors, okay. Mm. Other column errors, okay. And first, we are going to see the errors here. This column, the task with this code will not pass in the sheet tareas of Excel, okay. Let's see another errors. The same error. Let's see this error. This error again. Is the same error but other code of task. And let's see in this case. This the maintenance plan with this code will not import because the plan itself has an error in the row number 32, 33, and so on. Let's see the row number 32. Let's see the error 32 is this one. Let's see with this button, the error. The error must be here with this task. Now, let's open this file in the Excel. Here is the file. You are opening. And first, we are here first. Note that on this first sheet, everything appears to be correct, even though the interface report that is not. Remember, the error in this case seems to be more in this side of the sheet than the other. Let's see. This row. So let's go back to the program, and here with this button, these are the errors in these columns names. Column name is required. This is a conditional value when you use procedure type is list value. What is this? Let's see. In this task, reported the error, but the error really is in the procedure. What is the error? So the error really is here. In the procedure. The list type procedure have a type that is mandatory, and when it's mandatory, requires that some conditional values have been reported. So then, what's this? List value as procedure type, list value, and check this procedure with the same type, procedure type, and these procedures are correct in format. But here is not correct in format. In the same way, this procedure who has range values has procedure time is not informed these values valmin, valmed, valmat columns. Let's go back to the interface to see. Is this the record or row? And what is this? This is the error valmin, valmed, and valmax columns. And you must correct first here, just like in this way, if it is possible, and try again to load the interface. But it is necessary one more error in the interface. What is? Let's go back to the interface. Let's go back. The error, other error, and watch this error. This column error. The task with this code will not import because it is not assigned to any Excel maintenance plan. What is this error? If you see careful, this task name has two codes. That is the error, finally. Let's see. The program then understands that this task here should be reported on the other sheet, but the error was actually here because dragging the column, in this case, for example, doing this, the column in this case, so Excel automatically increase the number. That really was the error here. To, to conclude this short video, the most important thing is to correct any error reported by the Excel interface before partially loading or loading with errors. Remember that Excel is a very useful tool, but if it handled carelessly, these errors will be present. The interface is so sensitive that it make can you think the data is wrong when it isn't necessarily wrong. Rather, these errors are made due to the speed and efficiency of creating the interface. Let's close here, close here. Remember that if you have saved information incorrectly or updated it incorrectly, you can delete the previously created information here, removing the plans. But remember, removing plans don't mean that you are removing tasks in the task master or removing procedures in the procedures master. Take into account or take in mind these advices. Don't hesitate at all to consult with your functional support team to help you implement the idea. Ultimately, it's up to you as the person in charge to know where to find the errors and be able to correct them yourself in the Excel interface before loading the maintenance plan here in Kuplan Maintenance Management Solution. Thank you for watching.